There's got to be more than going back and forth.
Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to Humble for Christ. Anyway, so while I recently did a video, I wanted to do another video talking about my second visit to Israel. Now, in my second visit to Israel, I had a chance to really fall in love with the country. Okay, now I know in my other video I was talking about the discrimination that you experience in Israel. Yes, that's worldwide. We know discrimination is everywhere. But I want to put some light on it and put some light on, the good things that are here in Israel. One of my favorite things that I loved to do back then when I would come and visit Israel is go on top of this mountain and pray. It was in 2007 when I first went to a mountaintop here in the city that I live in now. I live in Dimona, Israel right now. And on the Shabbat, which is on Saturdays, around New World Passover, and the time for New World Passover is normally at the end of May, the last week of May, or the second to last week of May. And they have a giant celebration about the Hebrew Israelites coming from America to Israel, and it's to celebrate that. So it's called New World Passover. It's to celebrate, they're coming back home to Israel. So anyway, during that time in 2007, when I came to visit with my mom, that was my second time visiting Israel. But when I came back in 2007, I didn't come back, just me as myself. I came back with a boyfriend. So me and my husband today, we started talking back in 2006. At first, our relationship was over the phone. And then our relationship grew into a real relationship where, we could see each other and things like that, because I flew back to Israel. So, of course, I never thought I would be in an international relationship, but I was, and it was definitely very fascinating for me. It was exciting, it was like something different, something new. And, something I looked forward to every time I came to Israel. It was just like, oh my gosh, I want to have this relationship. I want, the joy of it all, everything. And so, anyway, when we came in 2007, we came with about six other people: my uncle, my grandfather at the time, my mom, one of my cousins, and my little brother. And, during that time, we went to Jerusalem, we went to Tiberias, we went to the Sea of Galilee. There's my daughter, Yaeda. So, we went to the Sea of Galilee. We went everywhere. We went to the Jordan River. It was amazing. We went to Mount Carmel, where Jesus Christ told his sermon on the mount, It was like, what? It was incredible. And then we went to Jerusalem. We did the Via Dolorosa walk and everything. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I know I get off track. Tell me to stay focused. Anyway, so we were when we came back to Dimona that Shabbat weekend, that Saturday and that Friday and Saturday weekend of the New World Passover. We they used to do what you call an Omer. And an Omer means you just go on the mountaintop it's like doing praise and worship on the mountaintop to be closer to God. Instead of, in the regular Shabbat Seder that they would have on the village where they lived, they would go on the mountaintop, take the instruments up there, the priests would go up there, all the people, whoever wanted to really show up as far as being a part of the Hebrew Israelites, whoever wanted to go up there would go up there. And so, the first time we went up there, it was about 5:30 in the morning. It was, I think, May 27th or whatever. I don't think the date matters. But we went up there at 5:30 in the morning, you guys. I loved it. I fell in love with it because it's like the sun was rising at that time. And it was so pretty. And just the silence of being up there on the mountain. And then feeling the breeze. And then feeling the spirit of everybody that was surrounding you up there who wanted to be up there on the mountain. She took a popsicle. Anyway. Just feeling that was amazing. It was like, oh man, I love this. So during that stay in 2007, I prayed a lot because I went to that mountaintop here in Dimona, the city I live in. I went to that mountaintop and I prayed a lot. I prayed constantly on that mountaintop by myself. One time I went, I remember one time I had came down, like, mind you, I had been going up there every day for like a week. One time I came down and they were like, hey, you can't go up there by yourself. You know, it's dangerous. There's people running around that could, you know, try to kidnap you or something. And, you know, I'm looking like, what? Because, mind you, my first visit to Israel in 2006, I was only here for 2 weeks. So it wasn't time to learn much. The second visit in 2007, I was here for about 4 weeks. So I had time to learn more people, spend time with people, learn families, talk to people. And, you know, I learned a lot of almost all of my husband's family during that time. You know, at the time when we were boyfriend and girlfriend, I learned a lot of his family. I learned a lot of the friends that were like family to him, and they became like family to me, you know. So it was amazing. Like, I literally had fell in love with Israel. It was somewhere that I wanted to live, and I wanted to raise my kids here for a long time. It was something that I really wanted to do. Excuse me. But also, it was just like being on the ground in Israel. It was literally like standing on the hand of God, you guys. Literally. It was like, oh my gosh, like, are you serious? You know, I was standing on the hand of God. You know, that's what I always used to say to myself, within myself. I would always say being in Israel is like, you know, the people are, that's a whole nother story for another video. But the land itself, the land of Israel, is like standing on the hand of God. When God says that he blessed the people and the land, he meant that. He blessed the people and the land. The sad part is the people choose not to follow him all the way, but he blessed the people and the land. And the land felt like that, you guys. I guess because in 2007, you know, I didn't have children. I was fresh out of high school. You know, I just wanted to travel and see things in the world. And, you know, I wanted to spend time with my boyfriend and, you know, travel with him and and learn about where he was from, everything about where he was from. And, you know, it was just exciting. It was something that, you know, if I could replay it, I would redo it again, you know, and enjoy it. So, and at that time, I was learning about his community. I was learning about the Hebrew Israelites. I was learning about, you know, what does it mean? What do, you know, like, what do they represent? These Hebrew Israelites represent, because this is not the first time I was ever introduced to Hebrew Israelites. The first time I had ever been introduced to a Hebrew Israelite was actually in high school. I had 3 friends who were from a Hebrew Israelite community, but for them, they believed that they were not allowed to go back to Israel until Christ Jesus returned. So I thought that was very fascinating. And so I wanted to know what was the difference between them and these Hebrew Israelites. So I found it out and I got to know. And during that time, I did a lot of studying. I did a lot of reading. You know, I did a lot of learning. But for the most part, it was time spent with me and my boyfriend. It was time spent with him showing me around Israel and telling me, you know, showing me everything that's different about Israel compared to America. He had never been to America, but I'm saying he could still show me the things that I didn't know even were something, you know, like hummus. I never touched hummus, never ate it until I got to Israel. For real, you guys, that's the truth. That is the truth. So, and, you know, shoot, I never even ate a pita bread until I got to Israel. That's the truth. Like, and they sell it in the Whole Food store in Arlington. I didn't even know that, you know. So anyway, you guys, it was just something that was, you know, that trip in 2007 it kind of set the stage for how my life ended up going. And so, you know, as I've said to you guys before, anyone who might be new to my channel or hasn't seen the beginning videos, you know, I've said before that my goal for this channel was to share my life with you guys, and also to share my process through Israel, and how many times I left, how many times I came back, and why I left and why I came back, and, you know, to help people fully understand, like, this is what really went on, and, you know, this is why it took us this long for this process and things like that. So yeah, in 2007, you know, I enjoyed myself, I had fun, and, you know, that was it. And it was, I can remember, I think the best time that we had together as family for my brother, my cousin, myself, my grandfather, my uncle was when we went to Tel Aviv. It was like right before we caught our flight back. We went to Tel Aviv, and you know, we always stayed in Tel Aviv like a night before so we wouldn't have to be far from the airport. So we went to Tel Aviv, and we were on the beach until like what seemed like 3 in the morning. It was so much fun. Like, we danced all night. We just danced. It was like a huge bonfire going on out there in the center area, right? And so, of the beach. Like, it wasn't in the center. It was on the corner. It's like, this is the Long Beach, you know, the Long Beach. And then in this, it was a section of the beach over here where it was like 3 different bonfires going on. And so we were out there just, you know, dancing like everybody else. And it was fun, you know. And I guess I fell in love with the culture of Israel. I fell in love with their food. I fell in love with how their chicken tastes and how their eggs tasted. I'm like, everything tasted different, you know. It was like, because we're in a different country, so everything tasted different. And I went to taste that. And back then, it was so easy for me to look past all the discrimination and the racism. It was easy for me because I didn't care. It was just me by myself. I'm like, you're not bothering me. I don't care. So, you know, even if you don't like me, whatever, stay over there. I don't know you. But I guess, you know, today, because I have my daughters and we live here, it's a different story. And, you know, I want them to be strong in who they are as a person. And I want them to have confidence in who they are as a person. And I want them to know that they're loved and that they're cared for and that they don't have to allow people outside of them to destroy them. So that's why I'm constantly telling them to ignore foolishness. But if it happens to you, report the foolishness. And even if it happens to somebody else, report it. But don't engage that person, meaning don't indulge in them. You know, don't argue with them. Correct them on what they said, and that's it. Tell them what you're not, and that's it. And if they keep doing it, you tell the principal, you tell the teacher, or you involve me and your father. I tell them that, you know, simple. But, so yeah, you guys, that was about my visit in 2007. You know, 2007, that was the second time that I had went to the Jerusalem walk in Via Dolorosa. And that walk is powerful. Like, I'm gonna have to take y'all to Jerusalem and actually show y'all intensely the whole walk that Jesus Christ walked. That's gonna be a long video. Are you ready? Are you gonna watch it? You better watch it. I'm counting on you, okay? Do these for you, okay? Anyway, you guys, y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me on my life journey. Thank you for being here to listen to my life journey. And you know, I'm gonna, as time goes on, I'm gonna make more and more videos so that you can understand, you know, how we ended up back in Israel today and how long we've been living here since, you know, back then, and how many times I've left and all that. So you'll hear all that throughout my videos. So the next video will be about my 3rd visit to Israel. And during that visit, you'll get to hear a lot of things, because you'll get to hear how, you know, about my daughter Yaera, which is my oldest, and you'll get to hear about my husband and myself again. In that video, I might have him sitting here with me. We might have to do that video together. It might be a few videos we'll do together. But anyway, you guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like and subscribe, and please share my videos. I appreciate the support, and one day I will have enough subscribers to where I can send you guys things. So, from Israel, yes. Thank you. Bye.
Hero takes the stage when we're on the edge of our seat, saying it's too